Welcome to the Injury Law Pod, the podcast that explores and demystifies the complex world of personal injury law. Each week, Missouri personal injury attorney Eric Bartlett dives into the legal issues surrounding personal injury cases to help you understand your rights and options when seeking justice and compensation for personal injuries. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the world of personal injury law together.
Welcome back to another episode of the Injury Law Pod. I am your host, Eric Bartlett, and this is the podcast where we talk about all things personal injury related. But today we have a special guest, and it's that time of year again when we're looking to help out valuable charities in our community. And so why don't I just start off by having our special guest introduce herself and where she's from.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Eric, for having me. I'm Gwen O'Brien with Feed Northland Kids. We're a small nonprofit here in the Northland, so we particularly serve Clay and Platte counties, and I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely, and really happy to have you. And we've enjoyed this partnership that we've had now the last few years, helping out the organization. And why don't we, again, we obviously did a podcast last year and we kind of got into the details of what Feed Northland Kids is all about. But again, for somebody that may not know, maybe just seeing this, why don't you just kind of go over it again and then we'll go from there.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'd love to tell you a little bit about what we're doing. So we started as really a grassroots effort, knowing that there were hungry children in our community. And a group of folks got together and really started thinking about how we can support kids in our community that are food insecure. So food insecure really meaning not having regular access to healthy food. And so over the years, we did a lot of work with Harvesters Back Snacks, and Harvesters has done some changes to their practices and the way that they're getting food out to folks. And we have also done some changes. So really now we're doing two main programs. Our priority one is our community food kits. We know that hungry children come from hungry families, and we're all working very hard to make sure that families are eating together. I think maybe not all that long ago, that wasn't something that we had to work extra hard at. But now with people going a million different directions and having devices and all sorts of things, we really want kids sitting at a table with their families. We're wanting families to eat together. So the community food kits are really an effort at feeding families in the Northland. And then also our in-school food pantries. We have 38 now this school year, which is really blowing up. And both of those programs are going strong and the need is increasing. And I can talk a little bit about that later.
Well, I was going to say, so like as an overview, like what school districts are covered now?
Yeah. So we actually, we touch all the school districts in the Northland, but we primarily are serving North Kansas City School District, Liberty, Smithville, Kearney School District. We're a little bit in Excelsior School District. We're talking with them about some maybe enhanced services that we could do there. On the Platte County side, we're in the Park Hill School District, Platte County R3, North Platte, and West Platte. So we really cover the gamut in the Northland.
All right. And then, you know, what I'd be curious about this year is with the situation we have with grocery prices and everything, like what does that look like for you and your organization?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking about that. I think that we found over the last year several instances and when families are having to make decisions about, should I pay this bill or should I buy these groceries? Should I take care of this family need or, you know, make sure we have these extra snacks? And so, like I said, the need is absolutely increasing. We spent some time earlier in 2024 doing a full data assessment of the Northland and looking at the health and the wellness, things like disease rates, obesity rates, that sort of thing. And what we know is there's over 11,000 children in the Northland who are food insecure. So we have our job cut out for us.
Yeah. And so have you felt an increased need?
Yes, we have. So when we feel the increased need, it's really coming by way of the schools. So we work, all these programs are directly run through the school districts. And it's when the schools are saying to us, hey, we need more. hey, we need more. I have some families I need to add to the list. Hey, I'm out of this thing. Can you guys add some, more of this in next time? So really, we're feeling that via the schools.
Okay. And have you, like over the last year, have you been able to meet the need?
Well, we do. I think we meet the need as best we can. So there are times when we are running our community food kit, which is a mobile distribution, and the last few cars that are coming through the line, maybe they're getting less than the families, right? Maybe most families are getting either 2 or 3 full grocery sacks of food, and by the end, maybe they're only getting 1 sack, and maybe we're out of produce. So most often, there are still people trying to come through the line at those mobile distributions, and we may already be out of food. Same thing for our food pantries. I know that if we told those schools we're going to deliver to you every week, that they would have a need every week. So we kind of taper that and just say, like, this is what you're getting for these 2 weeks or for this month, depending on the school size. But they're, as much as we can give them, they're taking.
And tell everybody again the sources of where you all get food, and even I guess in conjunction with that is, how do you use the money that comes to your organization?
Yeah, great question. So we get our food into 2 different ways. Either we source and purchase that food, or we do food drives. So for our food pantries in the schools, we do a lot of food drives, especially around the holidays. We have a lot of those coming up. We will definitely need some like midwinter, when things kind of dip off a little bit. People have done a lot around the holidays, and now we're ready for a little bit more support. So we'll have small businesses, church groups, Cub Scouts, all sorts of different clubs and things that might do food drives for us. The other way is the financial donations, so that we can purchase the food. We have a lot of contacts with wholesalers. So we're buying a lot of that food in big bulk, so that we can buy it way lower than what somebody can buy at the grocery store. We would typically say that for maybe a $50,000 or $60,000 community food kit event, where we're putting out 300 to 400 bags of food, that it costs us much less than what it would cost families. So it might cost families, that would have cost them $60,000 to get that done. Maybe for us, it's only about $30,000 to have purchased the food. So we're trying to make that difference in families' lives.
Got it. And what else in the way of your organization requires money?
That's a great question. So yeah, I'm the only full-time employee.
Okay.
We have one part-time person who helps distribute the food for our pantry program, but otherwise we're completely volunteer-based. And so we have very little overhead. Over about 90-something% of our funding goes directly to the purchasing of food.
Okay. And how do you go about getting volunteers?
So we have a couple of ways. We keep a pretty regular list of volunteers. Our website has a way that folks can get on there and send us an email to join our volunteer list. And then we have regular opportunities for that. So for example, this weekend, Park Hill South High School is doing a food drive for us, and we're bringing in actually a whole different school. Their group is going to come in and help us sort and date the food and that sort of thing. So people can find us on our website. There's information about volunteering there.
And so these food drives, obviously you promote them through social media or however, what else, through the school itself?
Yeah, usually whatever group is doing the food drive, they promote it. So just in the same way that you guys are promoting this through your, constituents and your relationships that you have in the community, that's exactly what those other groups are going to do. If it's a church group, if it's a sports team, if it's whatever they might be, they're pushing it out to their folks. Zona Rosa does one for us. Lots of the local churches will do one for us. So several real estate agents and that kind of thing. We'll put it out and really get their own communities involved.
Okay. And you talked about now in 38 schools.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the newer acquisitions?
Sure. So last year at the end of the school year, we expanded to Smithville. So that was really great. And then this school year, we have expanded to Kearney. So we have 2 schools in Kearney that have been added. And then we've added a few more schools in Park Hill. And so I think that's what's rounded out our newer schools this year.
And how do you determine like where you're going to go? Like for Kearney, you say there's 2 schools that you're now in. How was that determination made?
Yeah. So what we did last year is we really went out to all the districts and said, here's who we are, here's what we're doing. You might have thought we were doing this, we used to do some of this, but here's what really our new services are. And would you be interested? And it took them a little while to kind of think like, where is our need? Some of them have maybe a church or another organization supporting some of their schools. And so that's something they do internally. Say, where is our, greatest area of need? Where could we use some support? And then they sign up for that. And we really have it. In theory, we have it available to all the schools in the Northland if we had enough resources to do so.
Got it. So in Smithville, what'd you say? There's one school there?
We have 2 schools in Smithville.
2 schools. All right. Are these usually something lower than the high school level?
Yeah, great question. These actually started in middle school and high schools because at the time the back snack program out of Harvesters was really supporting the elementary level. So they started as a way to support the older children. That's not really true anymore. As Harvesters decreased their back snack program, we have pantries in all levels of schools. We do twice monthly deliveries to the high schools just because they're so big. The high schools have way more students than some of the other schools. Some of the middle schools are pretty big too, and we'll do twice monthly deliveries. Elementary level and smaller middle schools will do monthly deliveries to them.
Got it. And I take it deliveries are all done by volunteers?
All by volunteers.
Right. And then with these pantries, as you're calling them, so what does that generally look like at a school?
Yeah, it can look like whatever the school needs it to look like. Some of them are maybe like a 6-foot double door, cabinet of shelving. Some of them are maybe a small room or a small closet that they've modified into that. Some of it might just be open shelving. Most often it's the school social worker who sort of oversees that pantry and allows access to it. It's not usually set out in like a free-for-all kind of situation because kids with full access to food all the time will just be gone. I don't know if you have kids, but my kids, I'm always like trying to, pare down the snacks. Can we at least save some for 2 days after I've been in grocery store?
Yes.
So, we want the students that need it to have access to it. It's really, we don't want it to be a free-for-all for anyone.
And are there certain staples that go into these, or how is it determined, like what kind of food is going to be there?
Yeah, we have a grocery list. So we send a grocery list out to those school social workers about a week or a week and a half ahead of time and say, tell us what you need. So they can really select those items based on what they know their student population might need or want, or what they need more of or less of. And so we have all sorts of grab and go items. So things like granola bars, cereal bars, Pop-Tarts, like little fruit cups, those sorts of things. But then we also have things like mac and cheese cups, if they have access to, the middle schools and high schools have access to microwaves at lunch, so they can do things like that. Then we also stock it with full-size items that they can take home. So not only do we want them to be able to have what they need during the school day, but if they need to support or add to their dinner at home that night or sometime over the weekend, they can do that. And so we have things like full jars of peanut butter and, full size things of jelly. We have full size of spaghetti sauce and a full sleeve of spaghetti. We might have like a kind of a hamburger helper type, box meal thing, full sizes of mac and cheese, mashed potato packets and that kind of thing. So we do have things that they can take home. And again, because we want to support the whole family.
Got it. And then I assume you provide the food as ordered by the school.
Right.
And then I assume it's completely on the school officials to identify the kids that are in need.
That's right. We set up some guidelines with them, really through both of our programs of how they identify that need. What we don't want to do is get too prescriptive about that, because you might have a certain threshold of need. But those school social workers know that in any given week, maybe here's a family who does not usually have that need, and then they're going through some stuff, right? We know people are going through things. Maybe somebody lost a job, somebody's heating bill was really high this month, somebody's, I don't know, all sorts of accidents happen, right? Life happens, and you go, gosh, I really need to pay these bills, and now I'm really struggling to make sure my kid has something, at school every day to eat. Or I can't pay the lunch account quite yet until we get paid, at the end of next week or something like that. So we really want the social workers to use discretion in that. When they know a student has that need, we want to be there to meet it.
So what do the general guidelines look like?
Really just that they want, they might be on free and reduced lunch. They may qualify for free and reduced lunch and haven't, filled out that information yet. They may have a particular need at any given time. They might be new to the school district and not know about their resources and how to access those in the community yet. So we just have some of those things kind of spelled out that really give the autonomy to the school staff to make the best judgment for that student.
Got it. So let's talk about this year's charity campaign that we're involved in again. And
so Giving Tuesday is so late this year. It's in December, which is kind of throwing me for a loop.
Well, it's funny you say that, because last night my wife was dialing in on when Thanksgiving is, and it seems like it's farther back this year as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true or not.
It's like the 28th or something. It's
right.
super late.
And because the Giving Tuesday is always what? Is it the after Thanksgiving?
It's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, so it really puts us. It's December 3rd this year, so it's gonna put us into December. And it's probably happened before, but I can't remember a time that Giving Tuesday has been in December.
Sure. So why don't you talk about that, and and then we'll talk about what we're doing here.
Yeah, so I think Giving Tuesday is just such a lovely way that communities have decided to really put some focus on supporting nonprofits, usually locally in their community, trying to turn their focus when we're doing so many things around the holidays of giving and trying to do good in our community. So this year we're going to put together our campaign that we're doing with you, which is really exciting again, and we'll be directing all of those funds, like I said, right back into purchasing food for our programs.
Yeah, and what I've seen is, again, I was trying to remember if this is going to be our third year or our fourth.
I think it's going to be the fourth.
Yeah,
I didn't double check, but I'm pretty sure it's the fourth.
That's what I felt like, and I'm pretty sure that every year so far we continue to raise more money.
Yeah,
every year.
Yeah. Do you feel any pressure with that this year?
No, well, here's the pressure I feel. So I think we originally started off by we were saying we would match up to $2,500. I think last year we did $3,500. This year we will do $5,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Eric, that's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Well,
yeah.
That's super fun news. I was just coming in prepared for what we did last year.
No, because like I
said,
it just keeps rolling, and we're always happy to give. We're these great organizations, and I just think it's a really good one to support.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for that generosity. And I think that when people step up and be generous like that, it really does encourage other people to do so. So not only are we grateful for the actual, matched amount, but also just for leading in that space and really getting your folks. And there were lots of wonderful donors last year that contributed that I know were directly tied to you all. You know what I mean? A lot of people that really directly wouldn't have found us without you all.
Well, that's awesome. And we'll do everything we can this year again to promote it and get the word out, and let's try to beat last year's, because I cannot remember where it ended up last year. Was it 15?
I feel like I think it was somewhere around 12 to 13, but
okay.
That's a good question.
Well, we definitely have to get to 15,000
this
year.
I think 15 is a great goal.
And hey, we'll take more if we can do it and really help.
It's good to have goals. It's good to exceed goals.
Exactly. So, well, Gwen, it's always a pleasure. I'm so happy to be working with you on this. Again, the organization is Feed Northland Kids. The website, we will make sure it's everywhere that this video is, but you can tell them as well.
Yeah, so it's super easy. It's feednorthlandkids.org. And just yesterday, I went in and put the little Giving Tuesday on our donation page. You can actually go ahead and start. So we can start doing donations towards it as early as now.
And I can't remember, what did we do last year? Did we ask that if you're doing a contribution directly related to Giving Tuesday, I guess you got to click there, right?
Yeah, so they can, the two that are there right now are Area of Greatest Need or Giving Tuesday.
Okay.
So usually at this time of year, people are just putting in. I also did last year, those few days surrounding it, really anybody that was donating in, I just kind of counted it towards that because we know that that's, what's drawing people to us. So.
Well, and based on past performance, I have absolutely no concern that our $5,000 will be met, and we'll be matching that. And then it's just a matter of how much higher can we go.
Yep.
So,
That's
well,
exactly it.
I look forward to seeing what the results are, and always a pleasure to have you along. And like I said, we'll, continue to do great things in the Northland community.
Yeah, perfect. Eric, thank you to you and all of your staff that are going to be working on this and pushing it out there. I know it's a big group effort and we're really grateful.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gwen.
Thank you.
Bye.